Imagine a young boy, fascinated by magic tricks, eager to understand how things work. This was Kevin Mitnick, born in 1963. He seemed like any other child growing up in Los Angeles, California. But beneath the surface, a unique curiosity burned, a drive to explore the unseen workings of technology. This seemingly ordinary boy would grow up to become one of the world's most famous hackers, his name synonymous with digital intrusion. How did this happen? What choices, what circumstances transformed Kevin Mitnick from an average child into a notorious cybercriminal? Kevin's parents divorced when he was young, and he spent much of his childhood with his mother. He was a bright boy but struggled in school, finding traditional learning methods stifling. He preferred to learn by doing, by taking things apart and figuring out how they worked. This hands-on approach extended to technology. At 12, he discovered his passion for computers and quickly taught himself programming. This newfound interest became an obsession, consuming his time and energy. Little did he know, this passion would lead him down a path of both brilliance and destruction. Kevin's first foray into the world of hacking was surprisingly simple. At 13, he discovered a flaw in the Los Angeles bus system's punch card ticketing system. By manipulating the punch holes, he could ride for free. This seemingly harmless prank was his first taste of the power of hacking, the ability to bend technology to his will. It sparked a thrill that traditional pursuits couldn't match. This seemingly minor act of mischief would prove to be a defining moment, setting him on a course he could never fully escape. As Kevin's skills grew, so did his ambition. He became fascinated by phone systems, mastering the art of manipulating phone networks to make free calls, eavesdrop on conversations, and even reroute calls. He saw it as a game, a puzzle to solve, with each successful hack feeding his growing ego. He pulled pranks, impersonated authority figures, and explored the inner workings of phone networks, pushing the limits of what was possible. These acts, while illegal, seemed harmless to him at the time. The first fall crossing the line into serious crime. This is the story of a young man who ventured into the dark side of the digital world, crossing boundaries that would change his life forever. Kevin's hacking activities didn't go unnoticed. His skills were impressive, but they also made him a target. The authorities were always one step behind, watching and waiting for him to slip up. His escalating exploits attracted the attention of law enforcement. They knew they were dealing with someone who was not just a hobbyist but a serious threat to cybersecurity. The stakes were high, and the chase was on. At 16, he was arrested for the first time, charged with stealing computer manuals from a Pacific Bell telephone center. This was a pivotal moment in his life, a wake-up call that he was now on the radar of the authorities. This first brush with the law did little to deter his fascination with hacking. If anything, it only deepened his obsession. He spent countless hours in front of his computer, honing his skills, learning new techniques, and planning his next move. Instead, it fueled his desire to outsmart the authorities, to prove his superiority in the digital realm. The thrill of the chase, the adrenaline rush of evading capture, became an addiction. He was playing a dangerous game, and he knew it. The experience solidified his image in his own mind. He was the underdog, the rebel, challenging the system from within. He saw himself as a modern-day Robin Hood, taking on the establishment with nothing but his wits and a keyboard. But this was just the beginning of his journey into the world of serious crime. The game of cat and mouse, evading authorities, honing skills. After his first arrest, Kevin Mitnick's life became a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with the authorities. He disappeared underground, adopting aliases and living a nomadic life. He continued hacking, his skills becoming increasingly sophisticated. His targets grew larger, his intrusions bolder. He broke into corporate networks, accessing sensitive data and leaving behind no trace. He reveled in the thrill of the chase, the adrenaline rush of staying one step ahead of the law. Digital domination, breaching the untouchable, the Pentagon and beyond. Kevin Mitnick's hacking exploits reached their peak in the 1980s. He successfully breached the computer systems of some of the world's most secure organizations, including the Pentagon, Nokia, and Motorola. He wasn't motivated by money or malice. He craved information, knowledge, and the power that came with it. His ability to penetrate seemingly impenetrable systems solidified his reputation as a legendary hacker, He became a digital phantom, a ghost in the wires, leaving authorities bewildered and frustrated in his wake. The social engineer, deception, manipulation, and the art of persuasion. In the world of cybersecurity, one name stands out as a master of these dark arts: Kevin Mitnick. Kevin Mitnick's true genius lay not just in his technical prowess, but also in his mastery of social engineering. He was a hacker, yes, but his real power came from his ability to manipulate people. He understood that the weakest link in any security system was often the human element. No matter how advanced the technology, it was always the people who could be tricked, coerced, or persuaded. He could charm, deceive, and manipulate people into revealing confidential information, or granting him access to restricted systems. His methods were varied and ingenious. He relied on his wit, his charisma, and his deep understanding of human psychology to exploit vulnerabilities. He knew exactly what to say and how to say it to get what he wanted. He could convince anyone to give him what he wanted, all with a few well-placed words and a disarming smile. His ability to read people and situations was unparalleled. Mitnick's techniques often involved simple phone calls. He would pose as a trusted figure, perhaps a company executive or an IT technician, and with a few convincing lines, he would extract passwords, codes, and other sensitive information. His targets rarely suspected they were being manipulated. They believed they were helping a colleague or following protocol, never realizing they were giving away the keys to the kingdom. Mitnick's success was not just about his technical skills, but his profound understanding of human nature. He knew that people wanted to be helpful, to be seen as competent, and he used these desires to his advantage. In the end, it was this blend of technical know-how and psychological insight that made Kevin Mitnick a legend in the world of hacking. His story serves as a powerful reminder that in the realm of security, the human element is often the most vulnerable. The Wall's close-in capture, confinement, and the price of infamy. Kevin Mitnick's reign as a digital outlaw couldn't last forever. In 1995, after a 2-year manhunt, he was apprehended by the FBI and charged with multiple counts of computer fraud and abuse. His capture sparked a media frenzy, turning him into an overnight sensation. He became a symbol of the growing threat of cybercrime, his story a cautionary tale for the digital age. The once elusive hacker now faced the full force of the law and the prospect of spending decades behind bars. Redemption and reformation, from hacker to helper. Following his release from prison in 2000, Kevin Mitnick made a dramatic life change. He renounced his criminal past and dedicated himself to using his expertise for good. He founded Mitnick Security Consulting, a company that helps businesses and organizations protect themselves from the very same kind of attacks he once perpetrated. He became a sought-after security consultant, author, and public speaker, sharing his knowledge and experience to help others understand and defend against the ever-evolving landscape of cyber threats. The Mitnick Legacy Lessons Learned, Security Transformed. Kevin Mitnick's story is a complex one, filled with both cautionary warnings and valuable lessons. His journey from a notorious hacker to a respected cybersecurity expert is a testament to the transformative power of knowledge and redemption. He serves as a reminder that even the most secure systems are vulnerable to exploitation. Mitnick's early exploits revealed the weaknesses in the digital fortresses that many believe to be impenetrable, and that human error remains a significant security risk. Simple mistakes such as weak passwords or falling for phishing scams can open the door to devastating breaches. His journey highlights the importance of ethical hacking, responsible disclosure, and the need for strong cybersecurity measures. Ethical hackers play a crucial role in identifying and fixing vulnerabilities before malicious actors can exploit them. The collaborative efforts of cybersecurity teams are essential in building robust defenses. These teams work tirelessly to stay ahead of potential threats, ensuring that systems remain secure. Mitnick's transformation from infamous hacker to respected security expert demonstrates the power of redemption. His story shows that people can change and use their skills for the greater good, and the importance of using one's skills for good. Mitnick now dedicates his life to educating others about cybersecurity, sharing his knowledge to help protect against the very threats he once posed. His legacy continues to shape the cybersecurity landscape, influencing how we approach digital security today. The lessons learned from his past actions have led to stronger, more resilient systems, reminding us that the battle between hackers and those who defend against them is an ongoing one. This dynamic struggle requires constant vigilance and adaptation, constantly evolving alongside technology itself. As technology advances, so do the methods used by both hackers and defenders, making cybersecurity a field that is always in flux and always critical.